Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Tonight on the show, we'll be taking a look at what's going on the domestic scene. We'll talk about the ladies, we'll talk about the guys, talk about the Nigeria Professional Football League and the Women's Football League. We will also travel abroad and take a look at what happened in the UEFA Champions League, Spain thought for the knockout phase in the Europa League, and also, if time permits, give you a slice of tennis. That's the outlook of the show tonight. As usual, I don't do this alone. My partner, Austin Okona-Akpan, will be with me, and we will be taking a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. Greetings to you, Austin. As always, feels good to take this ride with you.
Sporty greetings to you, Yemi, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Still an action-packed, money-spinning, interesting, engaging world of sports. In Europe, we're monitoring what's going on in the Europa League. Don't forget that big one between Manchester United and Barcelona. We'll talk about it later on the program. In England, it's all about the English Premier League. There's a new leader, Manchester City, after beating Arsenal 3-1 last night at the Emirates Stadium, they took over the leadership of the English Premier League table. The last time they were there was November the 5th, 2022. Can the Gunners bounce back? Remember, they have a game in hand. We'll also talk about what's going on right there in the Nigeria Premier Football League. I love what's happening. Some of the results I predicted, Yemi, actually happened. We'll talk about the Super Falcons. What has changed under Coach Randy Waldrum? Nothing.
All right, that's a stark reminder of where we are with women's football. But let's pause a little. We want to do something special on the show tonight. Of course, Morocco has been telling the world that they're ready for big things. They're ready to host big sporting events. On the show tonight, we're going to take a look at a report put together with regards to Morocco and their plans to show the world they're ready to host the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Let's take that report. We'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
Welcome to Agadir, one of the major urban centers of Morocco and home to 45,480 capacity stadium. It is one of the stadia that Morocco is putting forward to enhance their bid. Construction work at this stadium started in 2003 when Morocco was bidding to host the 2010 World Cup. It was completed in October 2013. The 45,240 Maracay Stadium, inaugurated in January 2011, is another edifice for the 2025 AFCON bid. It is one of the first stadiums in the world to be both rectangular and also incorporate an elliptical running track. Next up is the Fair Stadium. Though in existence since 1997, the stadium was officially commissioned 10 years later. The seats at the stadium are in green and red, depicting the national colors of the Atlas Lions of Morocco.
The fact that the facilities we're seeing here are facilities in Africa, built and maintained by African firms. So it just shows that when a country is determined, when they set out to do something, they can achieve it. These things we're seeing are things that are transformed within 13 years, just when the king came on and felt it was very important and necessary to develop his country, and he made that commitment, and it's working out for them.
I think by and large Morocco has shown the leadership that it can be done. If you travel any parts of Europe and look at the facilities that we have gone through in Morocco, some of them are even better than the ones in Europe. And knowing the discipline and the vision that His Majesty King Mohammed VI has for this nation, I think it's bearing a lot of fruit because the standard the stadia are in are very good standards. No wonder Morocco made it to the semi-finals of the World Cup last year. It was no miracle if you look at what we've seen.
Despite the world-class facilities in place, the North Americans are not alone in the race to host Africa. The advisor to the president of the Morocco Football Association, Omar Kiare, explains why the nation stands out.
People, they saw Morocco during the FIFA World Cup in Qatar. We were the first African country to reach the semi-finals. And what is important is that it's not by chance that we arrived there. Since 2014, and under the presidency of Mr. Fouzi Lakja, Morocco has made a real plan of development for football. We have now our own model of development that we share with a lot of African football associations. In this plan, the first axe was about the infrastructure. We built stadiums, we built also training centers, we built the complex Mohammed VI. We have also, secondly, we worked on the governance of the clubs. So we created a national direction of control and gesture to help clubs to manage better the clubs, also financially, which is very important.
With what the host has presented to the media, how impressed is the media on their readiness?
When you come to Morocco and you see the facilities we've seen, you can tell why they are confident of hosting any global tournament or hosting any major tournament in Africa. And I think that, yeah, we've seen about 4 stadiums already. None of them is not good enough to host the Africa Cup of Nations. The capacity, the maintenance of it, the pitch, as we can see, behind there, it is all absolutely glorious. And I think that it's just a country that is showing seriousness in sports developments, that is showing seriousness in helping their athletes get better.
I must confess that I'm really very amazed at the quality of materials, sporting facilities here, the maintenance culture and everything. If you consider that Morocco is largely an arid region, mainly desert, but you see lush green grasses, even in the practicing pitch, you begin to wonder how amazing they must have been in terms of maintenance.
With the clock counting down to the announcement of the host country for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco says it's ready and hopes to get another chance to host the continent again since it last hosted in 1988.
All right, welcome back. Of course, pictures there. Of course, Morocco inviting journalists all over, giving them a tour just to show them a state of their readiness. And of course, our producer, Irene Vonha, was there, spent quite some time there. And of course, he's here tonight to share his experience with us. First, Irene, by the way, he's our producer, but greetings to you. And I want to say welcome back.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yemi. Good evening. It's interesting and very nice, living aside the production side of things and joining you in-house for this discussion.
Very good. All right, just one from me. I'm very sure Austin has one as well. Tell us about the experience. You can see the pictures, and everybody was full of praise for Morocco. So what was the experience like, the things you saw, and why you think they might get the nod to host the next AFCON?
Well, interestingly, Yemi, my tour in Morocco was a very good experience. And, Morocco is not only the country bidding to host the 2025. Morocco, the first time they hosted the AFCON was in 1988, and now they're at 37 years from now, they're hoping to host the continent again. They're up against Algeria, Zambia, South Africa, and joint bid Nigeria and Benin Republic, as you saw in the report. What I saw, we went to 6 cities, and fantastic facilities, I can tell you, Yemi, in all the cities that we visited. It shows the maintenance culture of the Moroccans in terms of all the facilities. If you go to the stadiums, they're still very neat. The facilities are still as it was built, years ago. And it shows how serious the Football Federation is and how they want to tell the continent, that they are ready to host Africa again.
All right, let me pass the baton to Austin, who probably has a question as well before we let Irene go back to behind the scenes. So let me pass the baton to you, Austin.
Yes, welcome back, Irene. Let's take a look at some of the lessons we can learn from Morocco. They went to the World Cup and they impressed. First African team to make it to the semi-finals. Yeah. Infrastructure development is very important. When you compare what you saw there in terms of the infrastructure And you say that's part of the reason why football in Nigeria is struggling?
Absolutely, Austin. We visited there's a sports complex called the Mohammed VI Sports Complex. I don't know if we could see visuals from that sports complex. Austin, everything the players need, the senior national teams, the age grade teams, the female teams, they are all in that sports complex. In terms of the training pitches, the artificial pitches, grass, hybrid, everything is there. We have even hotels. You mean if players are being called to camp, they don't have to go out to rent hotels. These facilities are in that sports complex for players, for the officials, and even if the players are injured, they have hospitals, where the players are being treated and where they can recover on time from their injuries. It's a very wonderful complex you see there in Rabat, Austin. It shows that the federations are taking football seriously. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that Morocco, you're the first African team to get to the semi-finals at the FIFA World Cup because of the facilities. The facilities to ensure that these teams perform well on the international stage out there. It's a good story to tell, Austin.
I know. I'm glad you came back with this story. You didn't go to Europe. It wasn't in the Americas. Yeah. These things are being done in Africa. So we must learn from the lessons and actually see football as a business. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Austin.
All right, before we let you go, this one's a bit speculative, but since we're journalists, we talked off camera, and just a quick one.
Yeah.
With all you've seen, we're not going to be the ones to make the decision. CAF is going to be, but with what you've seen in Morocco and with what do you think they have an edge over all other countries bidding to host?
I believe they stand a better chance. Though I've not been to Algeria, I've not been to Zambia, I've not been to South Africa, while also bidding to host the continent. But from what I've seen, I've seen the seriousness. I think they might get CAF approval to host.
All right.
The continent.
All right. So René Van are telling us as it is, and we'll write it down. It says they might get that approval. We'll see what happens. And I want to thank you for your time.
It's nice. It's nice being in the studio with you and also talking to Austin over there in London.
All right. Okay. All right. So that's it. We'll go and take some highlights from the Rotterdam Open, and of course we'll come back for more. We'll make a switch. René returns to where it does the magic behind the scenes, and of course we'll bring in Bolu Omoni as we go on the show. Let's take that time out with the Rotterdam Open highlights, and we'll come back for more Sports Time. All right, we've made that switch. René Van, our producer, has left, and of course Bolu Omoni joins us now. Bolu, greetings to you. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Yeah, good to be again on this lovely Thursday evening. Good to see you again, even though it's not a good day for you being a lover of Arsenal.
You have to bring that up.
Double unblessing being in Nigeria for the Falcons having a not so good day yesterday. Well, stroke this morning, losing 6 straight games. It means a wake-up call for everyone. And the Europa League, beautiful game of football at Camp Nou, from the blast of the whistle to the final whistle. Even though there were a few calls from the referee, but it was a lovely, lovely game through between Man United and Barcelona. It's good to be again on this lovely Thursday.
Yeah, it is. And let's start from the first thing you said, the Revelation Cup. I'm very sure the results will come up on the screen and we'll talk about it. But first, friendlies are what they are. You use, and the coach has said, even though Austin's assessment has always been stern about the coach, but I mean, it is what it is. We've seen the results, and in friendlies, you get the opportunity to learn. So, your thoughts?
Well, the thing is, are we learning? That should be the first question for Randy Waldron, because as the Falcons have lost 6 straight games now, and it doesn't feel like Super Falcons anymore. I wasn't expecting anything. I think myself and Austin agreed on that. We are the worst ranked team in this group, same as we are the worst ranked team in our group at the Women's World Cup that's coming very, very soon. But based on this, one of the things I keep questioning Randy Waldron for is his setup. Like what guys call him on the street, like a Nuga coach. He's a university coach. That's what he's used to, developmental, not used to a national team like this. That's why he's experimenting with the squad. You'll see him play a right winger as the left back, play a wing back as a full back, just switching everything out.
Can he go full circle? Do you see all of these things?
It's not working.
Okay.
And like they'll say, it's a certain person that will keep trying the same thing over and over again and expect a different answer.
Okay.
Play the players in their best position and let's see their output.
All right.
Uchenna Kanu played, she just left Mexico recently. I was expecting Uchenna Kanu, she will know some of these girls. Put her out there in the mix, let her contribute.
For our viewers to better understand some of the things that you're saying, let's take a look at the results now. I'm going to walk across and, you know, talk about the results as we have them on the screen. And there it is. You already talked about it. I don't know if it came to you as any surprise, but you said you agree with Austin in terms of your expectations from the coach. Costa Rica and Colombia played a 1-all draw. But there were times where the Super Falcons will be playing against some teams. If it's not top-tier Europe, you would expect them to win. But now they're playing anybody, and you're just scared of what might happen. And I don't know if it's fair to lay all the blame at the feet of the coach. Maybe I should just quickly go to Austin and ask for his own opinion. I'm very sure, Austin, we have a thing or two to say about it. Can we lay the blame squarely on the coach?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're coming to ask the wrong man. 100% yes. Everything happening to the Super Falcons belongs to Coach Randy Wardrum and Coach Randy Wardrum alone. Maybe administratively, whoever gave him that contract and still taking their eyes off despite this shambolic display. Since I've been following the Super Falcons, I've never seen them this clueless. I'm not kidding. Not even when you carry Ayuche or Edwin Okon or any local coach was taking charge of that team. They are so clueless that every time they come out, they're wondering, how can they set up? And look, let me tell you, don't get carried away when they create chances. It's due to the fluidity of women's football. You know, that's some sort of flair that when you sparkle, you know, it to be appreciated. But this is a man that is so shameless about the way the team is going. I tell you, the last time the Super Falcons won, Yemi, was in July last year at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, that quarterfinal victory against Cameroon. Look, this sort of analysis is not associated with the Super Falcons. This man should just go meet the NFF and say, I'm sorry, you guys, I don't know what it is you've seen in me to make me lead this team, but I can't do this. I mean, it's shameful because we will easily come here and because of media, we want to be professional, we want to create balance, but it is what it is. And we're guided by truth and integrity. It's clear for all to see that this man is thinking about going back to college to discover talent and not use ready-made talent to achieve results. Because at the time he sees a ready-made talent, look, I love it at the grassroots. I don't want to come here all the time and talk about Wilfred Ndidi and Kelechi Iheanacho or Johnny Yalo, but if they're in the news, I'll talk about it. If you leave me, I'll talk about the grassroots all day, every day, because I feel that's where we need promotion. That's the same mindset Randy Wardrum has. He just wants to discover, nurture talent, not make use of what has been established. That is the problem right here, Yemi.
Okay. All right. I guess we can all agree that it's not working right now. It's just not working. All right. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we look at the Nigerian Professional Football League. We talk about the Women's League as well, and we spare some thought for the Europa knockout phase, and we'll also talk about what transpired in the UEFA Champions League last night. All right, welcome back. Let's just move straight and, well, still talking about the ladies, but let's leave the Super Falcons and talk about Nigeria Women's Football League and give you some results. And, of course, I have the guys who can do that for me and do that for us on the show. Let's take a look at the result for the ladies. I'm very sure it's going to come up on your screen. We'll see match day 9 results. Very interesting results all across in match day 9, and of course, okay, I want us to start with the guys. Let's start with the guys, since that's what we have on the screen. I'll run through what we have on the screen. Of course, in Group A, Benel Insurance vs Nasarawa United, Aimba defeated Shooting Stars 2-0. Kwara United, Pelagulers, Remo Stars, Plateau United, of course. Hamad El Kanami Warriors, that's focus game on the show tonight. We'll talk about that as well. Let's flip over and talk about Group B. In Group B, the Kada, of course, defeated Sunshine Stars, Doma United defeated Abia Warriors, Tornadoes played a 1-0 draw with Bayelsa United, Wiki Tourists defeated Lobby Stars 2-1. Platoon, of course, Rivers United not in action. Of course, continental duties. And I think Aqua United in Group A, Aqua United played.
Yeah, they won their game
today.
already 1-0.
1-0.
So there was no away goal at all in Group A today and yesterday's games. But you hardly see 3-0 in the NPFL. Then when you see 4, that's brilliant. But for Plateau United, 5-0, that's very, very good for their goals difference. Someone said El Kanemi should just remove the Warriors from their name because there's nothing worry about their performance. But I think I like Plateau United woke up at the right time. Remember, Remo Stars were chasing Bendel Insurance, but since they lost to the Benin side, it's been poor. I think they've recorded just 1 win since that game. But Insurance have just kept winning. They got their win again yesterday. But Group A now looks more like just 1 more game for the first half of the season to end, and Insurance have started well. They are ending the first half so well. I would love them for them to continue all through the year. Let's even see them in the play Super 6. I wish Remo Stars can also get there, but the fact that Kwara United won that game today means they dropped again a bit. It means that I think they're 5th on the log. That's not where Remo Stars want to be. To make the playoff, you must finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. But we still have a whole lot of games to play. There are still about 10 more matches for each of the teams, so maybe they can still wake up. But that group, from immediately we saw the fixture, we knew that group would be tough, where there are about 6, 7 of those that finished in the top half of last season. But again, this is what it is. If the competition says play, you have to play. You have to play whoever is in front of you. All right, let's go to Austin quickly. Austin, our feature game, and of course you're going to lead us through it, and also we'll take some reactions. Plateau United and El Kanemi, a lot of you don't understand how it turned out to be a trouncing, and I guess that's why Bolu is saying El Kanemi should probably just remove the Warriors and just stay as El Kanemi. Your thoughts on the feature game, and of course we'll have to listen to the managers at some point.
I said it here. I mean, you remember when I said that result at Remo Stars was a good boost for Plateau United going into that game. And if you look at Group A, you can see that they needed to start, really winning, because the teams at the top aren't losing. Bendel Insurance won, Eimba won, Aquana won today, Remo Stars drew. So that makes the top 4 a bit competitive now. And on Sunday, it will be Eimba going against Bendel Insurance. So Plateau United, they are looking at themselves and they're saying, we must pass a strong message. And this 5-0 victory over El Kanemi Warriors at the new Just Stadium just did it. Let's listen to the managers, then we'll come back and talk some more.
I strongly believe this will serve as endorsement in the next match ahead. We do the right thing at the right time, and we approach every game bit by bit. Now we're going to prepare for our next game ahead, and we play everything with high level of discipline and respect. That is one of the secrets. We want to keep the pace that we were in our continent. Unfortunately, we lost the continent not because of performance, but due to some factors. We want to keep that pace. We started very bad, but as you can see, we are getting it right. The boys have played their best. The only thing we can do is to go back and rearrange, reset for our next match. Well, I hope we are going to win. Going back and then we reset ourselves, make necessary corrections. We will never lose like this. Yes, we'll be losing and winning, but we never lose like this. 1-0 to 1. It's okay. But as it happened today, we have to accept the fact that sport is winning and losing, or draw. That's the worst. Anybody could be beaten for 1 or 2 circumstances. Understand? So I think when you lose, you don't make noise too much. Accept the defeat and then get ready for the next encounter. We are on course because anybody want to be there always. But once such a thing happens, you have to take it and then check yourself, check the players, check the system.
So that's humbled coach Abubakar Hassan. You know, there's nothing more he could have, said, Bolu, because now it's tough for them. After 8 matches, they've won just one, and they've drawn 2 and I think 5 losses now. You know, and look at that Group A table, what I said, it means now Plateau United, with that win, they've recorded 4 victories this season. 4 victories for Remo. Aqua United defeated Gombe today. That makes it 4. And I'm sure they'll be hoping that on Sunday, Aimba and Bendel Insurance cancel themselves, and then we've got a serious Group A on our hands, Bolu.
Commissioner, the interesting thing is Group A have probably the best teams, and the competition there is just majorly the guys at the top, because first year Bendel Insurance with 20 points, Eyimba second with 16, but third, fourth, and fifth, that's Plateau United, Aqua United, and Remos has all have 14 points. Now it's a thing of maybe if the 2 teams above me are playing, both of them should lose. That's how feisty the competition is in that group. Any point is important. Any goal scored is important. Like you rightly said, the 5 goals for Plateau United is very, very important. They literally scored 33% of their goals this season in one match. They know the importance of those goals. It shoots them up from +3 to +4 to +9 on the log. It means every chance you have, take it. If the league ends today, it means Insurance are gone to Super 6. Eyimba there, it's now left for those 3 teams to fight. So the competition between these 3 guys will be very interesting. And it doesn't guarantee Eyimba that they are safe. Because if they play a draw this coming weekend and Remo Stars wins, Plateau United win their game and Aqua United wins, it means all of them will be on 17 points. 4 teams on the same points. That's interesting. That's competitive. I say it all the time with confidence that as much as you think Premier League or whatever league is competitive, follow the NPFL for 1 season. You will know what competition is about. Yeah. To win 5 straight games is like a mirage in Nigerian league.
All right. We look forward to the days where all the things that we make it a perfect combination will happen, and we'll have a very good league. All right. I wanted to talk about the ladies. We couldn't, but now I guess we can. Let's take a look at the results for the ladies. I'll just run through it, and of course, we'll move on because of time. Rivers Angels lost by Bayelsa Queens 2-1. Royal Queens defeated Osun Babes 1-0. Ibom Angels had a 2-0 victory over Adamawa Queens. Robo Queens defeated Abia Angels 2-0. Edo Queens, of course, defeated Nasarawa Amazons 3-2. These are some of the results in the match day 9 of the Women's Football League. All right, let's move quickly now and talk about the Europa League. That's our next port of call. So let's do that before our time is up. The ones that have been concluded, Bolu, are the ones we will look at. And of course, Austin will pitch in with his thoughts. I have my thoughts as well. I thought Manchester United were running away with it, but somehow they allowed Barcelona back into the game. So it ended 2-2 at Camp Nou. Ajax and Union Berlin was goalless. FC Salzburg and Roma, of course, FC Salzburg won that 1-0. Shakhtar Donetsk and Rennes ended 1-0 in favor of Shakhtar. Some games are currently going on, but let's focus on the ones that have been played. Bolu, your thoughts as quickly as you can. I don't know if you were like me thinking that, of course, after Casemiro scored and Rashford scored, that United were going to win this one.
Well, first of all, also Mourinho's Roma unfortunately lost in the 88th minute. They thought they were going to get a draw away from home in Austria, but they considered very late in that game. But like we said earlier, the game of the night has to be at Camp Nou. Beautiful game of football from both Man United and Barcelona. And I think the referee made a few dodgy calls. Barcelona escaped a red card because that was a foul on Rashford, last man, stopping him from getting on goal. But like they say, you just follow the referee. If he doesn't give, it's part of the game. And the goal was more like should I call it miscommunication? They thought Lewandowski would hit the ball. Unfortunately, he didn't touch him. But fortunately for the host, the ball went past David De Gea. But overall, it was a lovely game. Now Barcelona will likely be without Pedri for the second leg because he picked a knock. Gavi is automatically out for picking up a yellow card that will rule him out of the second leg. Everything looks to be in favor of Man United, but sometimes a wounded lion can be more deadly than a fit lion. So the second leg definitely is going to be very interesting. This is what we want to see our football for. Not maybe a bigger team against one United just wiping them 4-5-0. Nah, like El Academy Warriors collected. This is a big competition. And second leg, I'm more interested in the results for both teams this weekend because no matter what they do this weekend, one eye will be on the second leg that will happen at Old Trafford next week.
All right, let's go to Austin. Maybe in a minute, I'll do a wrap-up for us because we have just a few minutes before we wrap things up here. Your thoughts on this matches that have been concluded?
Just as Bolo said, I thought it was a good game of football between Barcelona and Manchester United. Jules Koundé being involved in the last 2 goals, has scored a own goal for Barcelona that gave Manchester United the lead, and then gave the assist for Rafinha to equalize for Barcelona. Makes the second leg a cracker to look forward to. Tricky result, over 2 legs, 2-2. 1-1, very tricky results because, just 1-0 and somebody will advance. But let's see. I like the way Barcelona started it at the setup. Manchester United on their part didn't give any respect to the host, played their game, man on fire, Marcus Rashford, delivering once again. So Eric Ten Hag's team looks good for the second leg. We'll see. Let's see what they will do in the league, and then we'll take it up from there.
All right, we'll take it up from there. And you guys are itching to do this. I'll sit on the fence. I'll listen to what you guys have to say. Just don't ask for my views. Arsenal, Man City was a good game. Was a good game for all neutrals. But of course, City reclaimed, by winning that game, reclaimed leadership in the English Premier League. And for a lot of people, it's going to be very hard to relinquish because once City are on the roll, I don't see anybody that can match. But your thoughts on this one, quickly.
Well, you know that phrase of masters don't teach their apprentice everything. It showed again yesterday. Now they've won 11 straight Premier League games against Arsenal. They've won 7 straight games at the Emirates. That's a record against Arsenal. I thought Mateta could have done maybe a bit better in terms of tweaking his team. Thomas Frank, the coach of Brentford, said a few weeks ago that Arsenal are predictable. You know how they will play. You know who will play where and what to do. See what Pep Guardiola did with Bernardo Silva. When defending, they have a flat four with Bernardo Silva as the left back. But when they're attacking, they play literally one central defender in Ruben Diaz. Ake on the left, Walker on the right, and busting forward. But while coming back to the game, they defend as a pack. And they were attacking also. Arsenal played well, but they did exactly what you expected them to do. Nothing different. Even when Arteta made some changes, it was more like for like. I thought at some point Nketiah was out of the game. Why not put Trossard as a false 9 or push Martinelli, who started as a striker, up front? Just change something, surprise them, or bring Zinchenko forward. Let him play that as a right winger or a midfielder, which is naturally is. But he still went for the like for like. When he took out Tomiyasu, still brought Ben White. Gabriel Magalhaes was out of that game. He could not hold on to Haaland. But I guess maybe the fear factor of I've not tried this thing before. Why not make the change? But Pep Guardiola is one man that people call him overthinking. He does anything as he wants on the field of play. And he showed yesterday. Arsenal played well, no doubt. But like I tell people, the only way to play football is to win it. Not possession, not gegenpress, not tiki-taka. Win your game. And that's exactly what Barcelona did.
A quick one from Austin before we take a look at Chelsea. I mean, we won't leave tonight without talking about Chelsea. But first, your thoughts on that game. Well, let me put it this way. Do you think Arsenal have dropped the hands that seem to be on the trophy? Have they dropped it now?
I don't think so. Though local media, they've been very tough on the Gunners because they expected Arsenal to make a statement. Look, it's very difficult when you play, not just Man City, when you play a Pep Guardiola's team that needs points or needs to prove a point. It's very difficult to beat that team. Even if Pep Guardiola becomes coach of Eimba and they're playing Barca and he needs to win that game, it's difficult for him to lose. That was what happened. Guys, City is known for the pressing game, but the Gunners contained them so well in the first half that City started slowing down the game because Pep needed to read it again, say rearrange, refresh. Depth in squad is very important, and sadly, the man who has made a difference for Arsenal in midfield was missing, Thomas Partey. There's just something about having the full complement of your team. When you don't have that, you'll be forced to touch it, and I think that was what happened with Mikel Arteta. But that is over for Arsenal. No, they need to pick themselves back up against Aston Villa, see ways to stay relevant in the media, and then we're going to have a serious fight for the title here.
All right. As we go, let's talk about what happened yesterday. We're going to get in a few seconds of what happened. Benfica and of course, Club Brugge played, and of course, you also have Chelsea playing. Club Brugge lost to Benfica, expected. Dortmund, Chelsea. You already know the result, but Bolu, quickly, in 30 seconds, is there fire on the bridge now?
It's burning already. What I just need right now is the German fufu that Adeyemi is eating, because he said fufu is what helped him to run like that. It just shows money can buy results. If you don't get it right, if you don't play well as a team, the cohesion is not there, and the finishing touch, no matter who you buy, you not get results, and that's what happened to Chelsea. First half, Dortmund played well. Second half, Chelsea played well, and Dortmund scored. Football is just about getting the ball to
Do you see Potter stay to the end of the season?
Well, the owner said they trust him, that they are not judging him now, that they want to judge him on a 3-year span. So for Chelsea fans that want him gone, you may have to wait a little longer. All
right, let him go to Austin. That probably is going to be his parting shot and our parting shot on the show tonight. There's a rumor spreading like wildfire. We're hearing Tomboli is thinking about bringing Neymar.
Yeah, the one Neymar, you know, they're having that conversation, but Chelsea fans, they can't take it anymore. They want, you know, Graham Potter out of the way. You know, every time I tune to the radio, that's what Chelsea fans are saying, that the club is too big for him to handle. But this love that Tomboli has got for Graham Potter, it needs to be studied, because you can only get that in marriages. But let's see what's going to happen.
Let's
that's
see
the show in London. Austin Okunakwan, and everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Bolo Modi, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Today was fast, was breezy, but we had a good time.
It's a pleasure being around.
All right. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoy doing this. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.